Let's get started. You are going to need a resistance band for this. So this is called a Theraband. You can get this from any physical therapy office. You probably recognize it if you've been to physical therapy before. You can also easily get it on Amazon. So what we're going to do is we're going to make the Theraband so it's a little bit, you can put it over your knees like this, just above your knees. And you want to have it so it has a little bit of tension when you're standing with your feet about fist width or hip width distant. From here, we're going to go down to the ground. And we're going to start with some clam exercises. So you're going to lie on your side with your knees bent and your feet below your butt. And we're just going to work on squeezing the knee open. So knees are stacked, starting there, and then squeezing your knee up and back and holding this for 20 seconds total. Now, as you're doing this, I want you to get into the habit of breathing 5 seconds in and exhaling 5 seconds out. So inhale, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's about 20, so I'm going to relax down and then back up. So squeezing my knee up and to the back as much as I can, keeping my hips squared to the outside. And I'm just going to feel a very nice burn in the outside of my hip. That's what our goal here is. We really want to get those muscles to burn, to fire as much as possible so that we can build strength and muscle activation in the glutes. And then releasing. And we've got one more here, so squeezing up. Again, we're doing 5-second inhales, 5-second exhales. Exhale. One more breath. Maximum contraction in the glutes. Really squeeze. Exhale. All right, and then from here we're just going to go legs straight out and then squeeze your leg up, still keeping the legs stacked. So legs are straight out, just squeezing the top leg up and away from the bottom leg and holding 20 seconds here. Again, focusing on those 5-second inhales and 5-second exhales. You want to make sure your toes face straight forward here. Don't let your toes turn up. Go ahead and release down. And next one. Again, 20 seconds. If 20 seconds is too much for you, feel free to do 10-second reps. And you can build up 20 seconds when you're ready. Either way, we're going to hold this for a minute of total tension. So it could be 6 10-second sets or 3 sets of 20 seconds. Keep your hips facing forward. Keep the toes facing forward. And one more. Squeeze up. Again, getting that leg up, making sure that the hips stay level. So make sure that your hips don't turn to face up toward the ceiling. Keep them facing out. Squeeze your hip up. You want to feel some burning in your outer hip. Last little bit. Keep it up. And release. All right, now switching sides. So go ahead and just keep the strap where it is. Come under the other side. And then we're going to start with the clams again. So knees bent, feet behind your butt. Squeeze your left leg up now. And this is where we might just notice that things are different. One side might be stronger than the other. You might feel like it's going to start cramping in one side. That's okay. Just push through it. Take a break when you need to. My hips are staying squared out to the sides, making sure that my hips aren't facing up at all, and just squeezing that knee up and back as much as I can. Again, 20 seconds per rep. I'm also making sure that I'm keeping my core tight and even grabbing your butt to make sure that the glutes are engaged. Take a little break. Next one. Squeezing that knee up and back, squeezing your butt as much as you can, keeping the abs tight, keeping your shoulders and your hips squared to the outside. About halfway through. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let it down. One more, 20-second rep. Bring it up. Making really nice long breaths here. And if you're shaking, that's a good thing. Just work through it. You're just working with your body weight. You can hold this. One more breath. Squeeze up a little bit higher. And release. All right, legs straight out. Time for abductions. So lifting your leg away from the other one, keeping your hips squared out to the side. 20 seconds here. Make sure your toes facing straight out to the side. Legs squeezing up. And again, 20-second reps. One more breath. And release. Come back up. So I'm going to feel lots of burning in the outside of the hip. Hips are staying squared straight forward. Abs are staying tight. Maintaining height. Maybe going a little bit higher. Relax. Last one. Come up. Squeeze up just a little bit higher. Keep the abs tight. Last 10 seconds here. And release. All right, keep your strap. We're going to do a few more exercises with this, or actually just a couple more for now. Stay on the ground. We're going to go into a bridge. So lie on your back. Bring your heels in toward your butt. Press down through your feet. Lift your hips. Squeeze your glutes toward one another. So you want to pretend like you're squeezing a penny between your butt. Bring your hands to the tops of your hips. Make sure your hips are squared straight forward. You're going to relax your head onto the ground. So the weight's on your shoulders, not in your neck. Keep your abs tight. So you're not arching your back here. You're not lifting up like this, but we're keeping the ribs drawn in, trying to make a straight line from the knees to the shoulders. Your knees are squeezing toward one another. Your thighs are squeezing toward one another, driving down hard through your hips, driving down hard through your feet, and then even squeezing your heels toward your butt, and that's going to help engage your hamstrings and your glutes. And again, we're doing a minute here. Abs stay tight to protect your lower back. Keep the hips squeezing toward one another. You want to feel maximum engagement in your glutes. In some types of yoga, actually in most yoga, you're going to be told to relax your glutes. That's not what we're doing here. We want to strengthen your glutes. So make sure that your glutes are engaged. Make sure you're squeezing your glutes toward one another, pressing down hard through your feet. 20 more seconds. That's 2 breaths. Again, my head, my neck are relaxed. And every time I exhale, I'm squeezing my core, squeezing my glutes a little bit harder. One more breath. All right, slowly release down. Give yourself a little break. And from here, we're going to go into single leg bridge. So come back up, both legs at first, and then extend your right leg forward. Press down through your left foot, squeeze your left heel toward your shoulders, squeeze your left hip in and up. Bring your hands to your hips, make sure your hips are level. Make sure you're not doing anything weird or unlevel with your hips there. And just hold. And we're doing 60 seconds here as well. If you start to feel a little bit more tension in your lower back, try to focus on your abs and on your glute engagement. That's going to help relieve the pressure in the lower back. We're almost halfway there. Keep the hips up, keep your hips level. Keep driving down through your left foot. Don't get lazy. Try to keep your breaths long. The longer your breaths are, the easier this is going to be. Keep it up, almost there. 10 more seconds.
Keep pushing down hard through your foot. Keep the glute tight. Finish strong. 3 seconds. And switch. Right leg down, left leg out. Squeezing your right heel toward your shoulders, keeping your abs tight to protect your back, and squeezing your right hip in and up to get maximum engagement in your glutes. Keep pushing down hard through your right foot. Keep the abs tight. Protect your lower back. And bring your hands to your hips. Make sure your hips are level. You want to feel your hamstring and your glutes engaging here. Again, 10-second breaths. That means you only have to hold this for 6 breaths. Try to maintain breathing in and out of your nose. Still pushing down hard through your foot, still squeezing your heel toward your shoulders. Keep the abs tight, protect your back, keep height through your hips, don't get lazy. Two more breaths, that's it. A little bit higher for the last breath. Last 10 seconds here. Plant your foot and release down. Nice. All right. We're going to get up off the ground, do some full body or full lower body exercises. So we're going to start off with a lunge. And this is going to be focused on your glutes. Surprise, surprise. So I'm going to have you start at the top of the mat, or top of whatever you are at. Take a big step back with your left foot. Release your left knee toward the ground. Allow your hips to sink forward. Focus on engaging both glutes here. So I'm going to squeeze my right hip toward my right heel. Press down hard through my right press down hard through my right foot, maybe using the blocks on either side of your front foot to help keep your hips square, to make sure that you're not doing anything weird with your spine, maybe to get set at first. And keep your back toes tucked. So keep those toes tucked. That's going to help with engagement in your back hip. Take a big inhale here. Get a little bit taller. And then as you exhale, sink forward and squeeze your left glute as hard as you can. You've got 4 more breaths like that. So as you're inhaling, getting a little bit more length. And then as you're exhaling, pressing your right hip toward your right heel and squeezing your left glute as hard as you can. So working on that muscle engagement. And you'll also notice you'll feel a deeper stretch to the front of your left hip. So by strengthening the glutes, by engaging your glutes, you're going to help stretch and lengthen the hip flexors. A little bit longer here. If you're over the blocks now, don't use them anymore. Just make sure you're keeping your core tight, keeping the hips squared, and keep squeezing that glute with the exhale. 2 more breaths. Last breath. Maybe crawl the foot forward, go a little bit deeper into this. Press your hips forward, squeeze your glutes, keep the abs tight. All right, and then release and switch sides. So now left leg is going forward, right leg is back. It's easier to step back into it. So start from a standing position at the top, relax the right knee toward the ground, keep the toes tucked. Sink your hips forward. Use the blocks if you feel any arching or you feel like there's pinching in your lower back. Try to keep your spine erect and straight here. So make sure that you're not leaning back too much. So you want to keep your spine as neutral as possible. And then again, maybe crawling that left foot forward a little bit to go deeper into the stretch. Focusing on driving your left hip toward your left heel for maximum glute engagement. And then also squeezing your right glute so that we can help not only improve the muscle activation in the right glute, but also getting a deeper stretch through the right hip flexor. Inhaling to get taller. Exhaling to squeeze. Squeezing the core, squeezing both glutes, both sets of glutes here. 3 more breaths. Squeeze as you exhale. Sink deeper. Tighten the muscle more. Maintain that muscle engagement the whole time. 2 more breaths. See if you can go a little bit deeper. So squeezing your glute to pull open that hip flexor. 1 more breath, 10 seconds. All right, and then relax, stand up.
Thanks for joining me for this workout today. Make sure you subscribe. We put out lots of videos like this on a very regular basis. And to get full access to all of my workouts, my programs, tutorials, and more, head to manfulyoga.com, sign up for a 7-day trial. It's just $1. Thanks again for joining me, and I'll see you on the next video.